How do we Jews talk about power? Do we accept the pacifist story? Is power inherently evil? Is the use of power fundamentally unjust? Jews, even though for most of our history the use of power was an aspiration, we actually developed a very profound and complicated and complex narrative about power. This story of power is the story that I'd like to tell today. It's not a case for power, but rather it's the way Jews assimilated their value system and their particular experiences in history in order to articulate for themselves an approach to the use of power which should guide us as Jews. The beginning of the conversation about power in our tradition must begin in Genesis 9, which reminds us that whenever you do anything to another human being, whenever you are exercising power or effectuating in any way their lives, the first thing that you have to remember is that all people are created in the image of God. Whoever sheds blood is shedding that which was created in the image of God. Human life, as that which has inherent and infinite value, must be at the foundation of any conversation. In other words, we don't use it lightly. We don't cause damage and harm lightly. At the beginning, before you start, the core of our conversation about power speaks about our moral obligation to preserve, to protect, and to avoid the shedding of blood. At the same time, we encounter a unique and really profound shift of our tradition, in which the responsibility to human beings, which grows out of their being in the image of God, ultimately creates a vision in which you are also a human being. If I take seriously the notion that human beings have value because you're created in the image of God, then all human beings have value because they're created in the image of God, not just others, but also myself. Consequently, the shift in the focus of Jewish ethical obligation begins with an obligation to self. An obligation to self as that which was created in the image of God. In our tradition, an obligation to self is not morally neutral. An obligation to self is a moral requirement.
For more information about the Engaging Israel lecture series, to place an order for source books, and to order the complete lecture series, go to www.iengage.org.il.